everything that we're doing for our clients right now is really around those three concepts: attract, nurture, convert. And I want to kind of go through this model essentially in this method that we call the Tell Your Story method. And what the Tell Your Story method is essentially how you take leads, how you attract leads, or how you attract essentially new business, how you nurture them over the life cycle of an actual buying cycle, and how you stay relevant, and then how you convert. So I want to chat a little bit about the differences today between a marketing company and a business coach, and why you need both. I've been chatting a lot about this over the last little while. I've been trying to show up. Thank you everyone for hopping on the live. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions around marketing today, by all means, throw them in the comment section below. We'd love to provide massive value back to the entrepreneurial community. And what I'm going to also do is I'm going to share this inside of the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group. If you're not inside that Marketing Hacks group already, I highly, highly recommend you get inside of there. It is full of entrepreneurs that are essentially growing their business in the online space, supporting each other, and really, more than anything, want to try to provide massive value to that community today as well. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the comment section below. Today we're chatting about attract, we're talking about nurture, and we're talking about convert. So attract. So one of the biggest mistakes that I find a lot of people make when they're starting a business is they don't have a plan. So whenever you create like a business strategy, or whenever you create a business plan, a lot of times a business coach will actually sit down with you and ask you about the 5 key core functions of your business: lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, delivery, retention, resell, upsell. So a lot of us as entrepreneurs get into a business, just kind of stumble into it. Like I stumbled into this. For those who don't know my story, I spent 10 years in the telecom industry, and I was lucky enough to understand the sales side of marketing, and essentially how to really take a lead. At that time in the telecom industry, it was really based around how to take a customer and essentially get them to buy, but also focused on upsell, but upsell in a good way, try to provide massive value and find them a solution and what they essentially want. So a lot of what we were doing in the telecom industry when I was working at Best Buy was essentially just finding solutions for customers. And that's really, at the end of the day, in a retail space, you have clients that walk in. So in a retail space, it's interesting because the actual corporation itself is spending a lot of money on advertising and building brand. But for a small business and entrepreneur, it's a little bit more difficult because to spend a lot of money on branding can be an expensive play, and it might not garner results right away. We all ultimately know that brand wins all the time. You look at brands like Nike that have invested thousands of dollars, but they still know their avatar, and they still know, when I say avatar, they still know their ideal audience that they're trying to serve in each piece of marketing that they put out. So a lot of what we focus around is the attract piece. So for small businesses, for entrepreneurs, for real estate agents, for real estate brokerages, we really try to get our clients to understand, and our prospects to understand, that you need to have radical clarity around your brand and around your message. Like, who do you want to be and who do you want to serve? Because if you start there, then your messaging follows. So whenever we work with a client, we try to understand what it is that you essentially want to portray to the world. And I think where a lot of people struggle is they don't have a clear understanding of what their offer is. So give you an example. I chatted with a coach, a coach that didn't have an offer not too long ago. They were still struggling to make an offer. So where that issue lies is they need a business coach that can help them formulate the offer, so that a marketing company can come in and essentially help them accelerate the offer, and maybe even help them, reposition the offer to get people to actually buy it. But you need to have a clear understanding of what it is that you are delivering in order to actually understand how to sell it. So, a lot of what we do has to focus around, with the attract, the nurture, the convert, is getting radically clear around your brand first, but then also getting radically clear about your offer. So those are two very similar but very different things. It's like you can have radical clarity about what you do, but what is the offer that you're essentially trying to get the person on the other end to buy? So when you have a clear, and this is something we've worked on over the last couple of years, and thank God for my background in telecom, because I had a good understanding when I was in telecom that you had to have clear brand promises. When I was at Best Buy, we had brand promises of like, unleash the, like one of our values rather was unleash the power of the people. What are the brand promise? And we had different brand promises that we essentially were able to communicate, someone to be there with you for the life of your phone. So these are all things that we knew, and we were at Best Buy, and we were able to explain to the end consumer. So it's super important to get radically clear about your message and about your brand. And the next step is, how do you generate leads on autopilot? So a lot of the ways that we generate leads on autopilots for our clients is through lead magnets. So begin to think about what are ways that you can attract leads and, I say automate your marketing, close more clients, but what is something that you can give away for free in exchange for a name, and email address, and a phone number? When you do that, and when you get there, and when you get to the point where you're actually able to generate names, email addresses, and phone numbers, you then build a list. When you have a list, you have leverage. So, one of my favorite people in the world, Russell Brunson, is very, very big on building a list. As you build an email list, as you build a text subscriber list, and we'll get into that in regards to nurture and how you set up automated campaigns, but you need to find a way that you're going to generate leads on autopilot, because that is then scalable. And we're going to get into conversion, get into all that stuff. But again, you need to find a way to generate leads on autopilot. Really highly recommend it. The next is create a functional and user-friendly website or funnel. So you have to decide, like websites we find are great for credibility. A sales funnel is essentially, how are you taking clients from the no phase, where they haven't heard about you, to the like phase, where they begin to like you and they begin to trust you, where to the point of buying. So again, that process needs to be fairly seamless, and you need to map that out. How are you getting people from point A to point B to point C? How are you building the know, the like, the trust, the factor in the online space? So the next step is how do you create brand awareness or authority in the online space is the next step that we work with clients on. So when you're looking at the attract, the nurture, the convert system, essentially when you create content to build authority, you need to then think about, how did that actual lead even get into what we call our pipeline, or into our world, or in in our email list, or in our text subscriber list, or in our Facebook group, wherever you're funneling people. How did they get in there, and how can I continue to provide value so that they don't opt out of the email? Because essentially what we always encourage our clients to remember is, as soon as you have a lead, you have a potential client until they opt out of your campaign. And we're going to get into nurture. And the last thing is really just begin to create, test, tweak an online offer. If you don't have an online offer, I really highly encourage you to figure out, how are you going to create one? We're working with a lot of businesses right now to help them reposition into the online space. And that offer that, if you're a real estate agent, maybe that offer is a virtual tour of a home. You understand how you can attract leads, but how are you essentially going to separate yourself from the rest of the market and create that specific offer that essentially still allows you to still sell homes online? So the next step is nurture. So when you're taking the customer through a journey, when we're talking about what we call top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, so essentially what the next step in the phase whenever we attract leads is, how do we nurture them? So how do we continue to stay relevant over the long buying cycle of the actual consumer? So the average life cycle of an online lead is 6 to 18 months. So a lot of what we do, and a lot of what we focus on when we're actually nurturing clients, is how do we continue to provide value via email and via text message if we have their cell phone numbers. How do we provide value and keep it conversational? So that's a lot of what we do with clients, is really nurture through email and text marketing. The next step is like providing value on an ongoing basis, remaining relevant throughout the buying cycle. And then really the biggest thing is that specifically with email and text marketing, the next step is, how do you continue to stay relevant through what we call retargeting? So a lot of what we do online, so I'll give you an example. So if you ever landed on the Home Depot website, and all of a sudden you clicked on a product, and all of a sudden you see that product show up in your feed, and it continually showing up in your feed, that's called retargeting. So how that works is, essentially there is this pixel, so this tracking mechanism on the header of the website that essentially stalks you wherever you go. So if you ever land on a site and all of a sudden you see a bunch of ads, that's what that is. So that's a tracking pixel that we set up for our clients that essentially allows them to essentially stay relevant over the long buying cycle of the actual lead. So it's a super powerful tool that essentially allows you to continue the nurture sequence through email, through text, and also through retargeting. And we do a lot of this for clients. And, this is, again, the steps that we essentially implement in order to help our clients remain relevant over the 6 to 18 month window. And the next thing is, use nurture to push for conversion. Whatever your specific offer is, again, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It's really interesting to see what is possible in the online space when you actually set up all this stuff properly. But it's like, once you get them to the point of conversion, where we see a conversion is like, are they booking calls with you? So, with a lot of lead gen based businesses, are they getting on the phone with you? With a real estate agent, are you actually picking up the phone and calling the lead? Because we know that the people that follow up with leads within 5 minutes win in the space because they increase their conversion rate by 100 times. So what you have to think about is, how are you taking people from attract to nurture to conversion? So one of the biggest issues, and when I start to talk about conversion, is a lot of people are so short focused. They're focused on a 90-day window. They're not focused on the lifetime value of the client. So, if you and this is where a business coach would come in. A business coach would sit down with you and help you understand that, listen, Rick, just because this person purchased a $5,000 deal, how much are they spending over a 5 to 10 year window? Because then you can start to look at, okay, how much money am I willing to spend in order to attain a new client? We know that it's always more expensive to attain new clients than do retention, resell, upsell. We know that. If you don't know that, now you know that. But when you look at the buying cycle and the buying process, you need to have a plan for each section of the 5 key core functions of growing business: lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, delivery, retention, resell, upsell. So when you get into the conversion portion, it's really important to tweak, test your sales process, because you might be getting the leads directly into book a call, or you might be getting the leads come through and nurture and talking back and forth with you. But how do you take that lead from the point where they're interested to getting them to actually buy something? Again, a lot of that's through nurturing the prospect through email, text marketing, through retargeting, a lot of what we do. But I kind of want to shift gears a little bit and talk about conversion. The biggest thing with conversion, and one of the biggest issues I see happen, is a lot of people just don't have a proven sales process. I'll tell you a story. So last year, before I started working with Stan Way, again, we just didn't have a proven sales process. We knew how to generate leads. We knew how, this is our own business. Knew how to generate leads. We knew how to nurture them. We knew how to do all these things. And this is a marketing company, but we struggle with conversion. The reason we struggle with conversion is we didn't have a proven sales process. We didn't have a system that once we actually get the lead off of Facebook into a CRM, into a meeting, how are you going to close them? Because that sales process is going to be very, very different than the sales process that you use in order to close potentially a referral client, because that's ultimately like a layup. How you nurture leads, how you attract leads, how you nurture the leads is fairly all the same depending on the platform. Conversion is something totally different. This is where you need a business coach. I highly recommend it. We've spent thousands of dollars on business coaches because to help me with that portion of the conversion. A marketing company will bring you to the point of conversion with lead generation, but you need to understand how you are going to talk to the lead, how you essentially are going, are you going to pick up the phone and call them? What does your sales process look like? We know that scientifically, and the data points to the fact that if you call the lead within 5 minutes, you increase your conversion by 100 times. So what are you doing at the point of conversion? A lot of what we do is help you automate your appointments. So if you're in an appointment-based business, we can set up a calendar to essentially to have the lead book in with you. Is that more expensive than picking up the phone and calling them? Absolutely it is. It'll always be more expensive. It's proactive versus reactive. Real estate agents are really great at picking up the phone and calling people if they decide that that's the process they want to take. But we know that if you follow up with a lead within 5 minutes, you increase your conversion by 100 times. We also know that if you specifically contact that lead 6 times, so if you schedule 6 follow-ups, you increase your contact rate by 70%. That's why we have a business developer. We book in calls, so people come to us, but we also take the proactive approach and reach out to people as well. It's both. Conversion happens through both. Reaching out organically, reaching out to the leads that come into your world, calling them, picking up the phone, actually reaching out to them, and setting up on the back end if you decide that you want to set up like a Calendly or something like that that they can book in, you can do that as well. So it's both. And the last thing I want to talk about in regards to conversion, if you have an online offer which people just click a button to actually physically, if you sell an info product, for example, you need to make the payment easy for the client. If the landing page where they're going to pay is broken or load slow, we know that for every second of load time, it essentially eliminates the person from checking out. People want things quick, and it's why it's why companies like Amazon spend so much money on infrastructure, and Best Buy has spent so much money on infrastructure in order to make that checkout process seamless. So that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Again, I'm going to post the kind of the model below: attract, nurture, convert. I really highly recommend taking a look at your business, over this time when you have the time, and really start to look at, how am I attracting leads? How am I nurturing them? And how am I converting? Do I even have a plan? Do I have a process? And if you're looking for some free information, we're giving away a free business course. It's inside of our Studio PTPO Marketing Hacks group. I'm actually going to post it in the comment section below. Copy here. Let's paste this here. So it's in the comment section below. There's a free business course inside of there. Usually charge $297 for it. We're giving it away for free inside of our Studio PTPO Marketing Hacks group. If you're looking for some one-to-one support where we can essentially help you with this model of attracting more leads, nurturing them to the point of conversion, we'd love the opportunity to chat with you. Simply just throw an emoji below in this video if you want to chat some more about lead generation, lead nurture, and conversion. We'd love the opportunity to chat with you. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. I hope you're taking this time to really think about, how are you going to grow your business? What are the actions that you're taking and implementing? How are you generating leads? How are you nurturing them? How are you converting? How are you delivering? And how are you focused on retention, resell, upsell? Really encourage you to take the time to think about that. If you want some one-to-one support about amplifying your message, about getting in front of more people, about nurturing more leads, about getting them to the point of conversion, if you want to have that conversation, that marketing conversation to help you take your business to the next level, we're helping businesses grow in the online space. I'll give you an example. We had a painting company that's phone has been off the hook since working with us. We have a property maintenance company that has closed, I think, like 6 sales. It has like 5 to 6x their investment over the past, less than a month of working with us. We have a real estate agent that we're working with right now that has over 100 leads and about an 80% response rate on those leads, and about 30% of those leads he's actively talking to right now. Again, it's everything. It's attract, it's nurture, it's convert. That's the formula. That's the tell your story method. I really highly recommend, if you want to chat some more, throw an emoji below and we'll reach out and chat some more. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you're staying safe out there. Join the Studio PTPO Marketing Hacks group. And I hope you all have a great day, and we'll chat with you soon. I'm going to be doing more of these lives because, again, I just want to show up and provide massive value. Hope you have a great day.